think that hit the bat rather than the pad.
Yeah, three medium pacers, Sakurana Thomas and Isam Rahman able to get it through a little bit quicker than the others. And then three spin options. They're the primary six bowlers for Japan. One left arm spinner and then two right arm off spinners. Don't think we'll see them go as deep into their depth chart, if you will, to a seventh or eighth bowler. So primarily we'll see those six. As this is chipped down the ground very elegantly. It's only a punch really from Bertel, but he looks like he's returning to some of his very best form. Remember his flying start to international cricket, 450s in his first 5 innings. He hits a second boundary and it's very, very elegant. Paresh, what a shot that is.
That was just a check drive by Bertel, straight down the ground, over the infield, over long on rather. Kushal Bertel has runs under his belt. The first game he played against Kuwait, he scored 60 odd runs. Now already 2 boundaries in this over, the first over of the innings.
Yeah, 66 he made out off the penultimate delivery of the innings. Nearly carried his bat. He called it in the post-match presentation for the best innings of his career. That's how important that was against Kuwait. Got Nepal off to a winning start. Both of these sides, a reminder, qualified through to the Super 6. Now it's really just a case of who's going to take the first points in the Super 6. Between them is again an aggressive stroke attempted. The importance of Bertel at the top of the order, given that he had a really tricky patch, didn't he, in 2024, parts of 2023, dropped down the order to 6 and 7. Stuart Law's backing his man at the top in a big way.
He is a natural strike maker, that is why he opens the batting. He uses the power play.
Goes again and takes that aerial route. It's going to fly just out of the reach of the mid-off fielder. A valiant, incredible effort actually. Great credit to Shoma Sagata Slater, who does so well to hang right on the edge of the 30-yard circle. 15, 20 yards back, and for all of the brilliance of Nepal's fielding, that would have been probably the catch of the tournament.
Kushal Bertel once again stepping down the track, almost getting to it. That's a very good effort by. Down on the leg side, flicked away. Just a single though, a very good over comes to an end. Nepal 11th, no loss.
You're wondering just how much Kushal Bertel struggled last year in the season of 2024, 13 innings, high score of just 32. And
Laksha Ani, Energy 8. Energy भनेकै Red Bull.
यहाँ extra long grain basmati rice को 20 kg को पैकेट को खरीदमा पाउनुहोस् क्याशब्याक रुपैयाँ आफ्नो हल्दी वालेटमा.
नेपालमा सर्वाधिक चाहिएको चाउचा कञ्चनको बियो फफाल बियो छ.
can't wait. Something more, something that the other teams' analysts will pick up upon, and then they will target that. Here's the youngster, Harahinze. His left arm spin, immediately given the task of opening the bowling. After 11 come from the first, Bertel gets a single to get Asif Sheikh onto strike for the first time.
We're talking about Kushal Bertel's form. Yeah, it happens to a player when you go through a black patch, a dark patch. He worked very hard on it. He'd been batting in numerous places like number 3, number 7, number 5, and now opening batting again.
A reminder that we'll see Charlie Harahinze in that Under-19 Men's Cricket World Cup. It's only, 4 months away or something around that. In January they became the 14th nation to qualify with a big victory back in April over Fiji, and Harahinze was very much to the fore. Bertel won't take on the single. It's actually named the player of the tournament in that East Asia Pacific Regional Qualifier with 92 runs and 12 wickets. Lots of talented youngsters. Cricket Japan doing a lot of good things. This is cut away, finds the gap and finds the boundary. In felt like an even smaller gap because two fielders there at point, and indeed the umpire in the pink shirt, a similar colour because of where the sun is. Great stroke for 4.
The ball came in after pitching. Burtell just gave himself room and cut that into the gap. The placement was perfect.
Chipped down the ground, not out of the middle of the bat. Every run is being cheered to the rafters by the fans that are predominantly supporting Nepal. I've seen 2 in Japan pink tops with the Japan flag. Don't think there's many more.
I don't think that's pink.
So they're playing in pink.
They are playing in pink, but the flag colour is red.
Well, the flag colour is red, absolutely. But the 2 fans are in Japan jerseys up there, yeah, absolutely. End of the second, Nepal 18 for none. With a good over, Harry Hintze's goes for 7. For Nepal, all the focus on
Asian Paints Ultimate Product Shine. यसमा रहेको UV high-tech technology ले काम, पानी, धुलोबाट देख्छ वर्ष सुरक्षित खतरा छ सधैँ शानदार वर्ष
उसको पुस्तालाई मायाले जोड्ने जिन्दगीलाई अर्डिनेरीबाट एक्स्ट्रा अर्डिनेरी बनाउने सधैँ KFC.
wickets to start to drag things back. Shoma Sugata Slater, the other right arm seamers, is called in. Driven but too firmly to take the single as mid-off is in play. Probably got one about an hour of daylight left. I do think the floodlights will kick in for some aspect of this second innings. And then a reminder, we do have action tonight. Should be a good clash, that one. PNG versus Oman. Papua New Guinea in must-win territory. Oman have it all to do. It's not a good delivery. The tournament's been a fascinating one already. I know we're only in the 3rd day, Paresh. First day, everything went to plan with regards to rankings. The 3, I suppose the 3 highest ranked sides, the 3 tournament favourites, in Nepal, UAE and Oman, all got it done, but had a few wobbles. Yesterday was the opposite.
Exactly. The first day was dramatic, to be honest, and yesterday was swing and a miss by Burtell. It was a mixed bag on the first day, but yesterday quit getting knocked out of the tournament, a high-ranked team beaten by a lower-ranked team, Japan, and even Samoa beating PNG. So everything happened yesterday.
The feet down the track. Now they're interested in an LBW appeal, but he's come so far down. I think it's very difficult to give that good hard length hit though by Slater. Excellent bowling.
Yes, he's trying to hit the deck. His length is perfect. He's bowling towards back of the length, not bowling fuller deliveries where Burtell can go over the top with a straight bat. He's mixing his length, varying his length.
Bowling, and I think in fairness to Japan, clearly the indications and instructions from the coaches will have been, not just from Bedingfield, the head coach, but Harrison and Stevens, the assistants, that we need to learn from what Sampal Khan and Gulshan Jad did so well in that first innings.
Yeah, and apart from that one wide, all the balls are dot balls in this over.
Feels like a pitch that rewards good bowling and good basics. Just not the right line this time, and a misfield is going to cost a boundary. I think this will race to the road. Oh, not quite. Very nearly costs 4. Just got something on it to at least save 4 and turn it into 2.
When you have the fine leg fielder inside the circle, that is not the line you like to bowl. You like to bowl outside off stump. You have a wide third man and a short, very fine third man as well. Backward point, extra cover and mid off on the offside.
Straight to the man at cover point. So the dot ball to close out a good over first over for Slater. 3 have been bowled, 21 for none.
लक्ष्य अनि एनर्जी ए एनर्जी भनेकै रेड बुल यहाँ सोधी चामल खरिद गर्नुहोस् 2000 सम्मको क्यासब्याक पाउनुहोस् क्यास बाई क्या धेरै नेपालमा सर्वाधिक रुचाइएको चाउचाउ कञ्चनको पिरो बब्बाल पिरो छ भाग्यले जहिले साथ दिएर याद नदिएर यी सेवालाई केले
There's a few different permutations. If a man went down to a very heavy defeat, they could still get knocked out. As Asif Sheikh goes down the ground, Mom come around, keep to a couple. And Samoa aren't through yet, but have put themselves into a great position. If a man beat Papua New Guinea, we'll see Samoa in the Super 6.
Yeah, and there'll be 2 East Asia Pacific teams that will go through to the Super 6s.
There's a world in which there would be all 3. Oh yes, stunning. One of the shots of the day, and it's exactly where Kendall Fleming hit his 2. That was over long on for the left-hander. This one's over long on from Asif Sheikh. Made it look easy, very elegant, pleasing on the eye, as he just caresses this for 6.
Fleming hit 2 sixes against Sandeep Lamichhane this time around. It was right on the slot, and he went over the long on mid-off fielder over the fence for a 6.
It was just glorious, wasn't it? No need for any incandescent rage or anything like that. Just a simple, elegant bat swing from a very talented cricketer. Paresh, does this remind you of you in your prime?
Yeah, I used to play straight, but not over the top, all along the ground.
Your one would have been along the ground, not in the air. Oh, it's a beautiful shot, isn't it? I think in fairness, Kendall Fleming's was bigger off Lamichhane, particularly the first one. But that one was, because it's over long off, just the extension of the arms with the bat swing was even more pleasing on the eye. Harahidze, who's such a prodigious and prolific young talent, is just being targeted a little bit here in the power play. It's a tall task for a 17-year-old to bowl to these 2. 24-yard delivery comes out, so Sheikh goes deep in the crease. Bumped into the Sheikh brothers last night, turns out which is a beautiful little fishing port and bay there. The Sheikh brothers are having a deal of land. We're just out to enjoying a bit of tea. Nice to see them. They were very, very happy actually with the Japan result. They thought they deserved it. They said they'd watched the game. Big appeal. And Harahidze was interested. What's this one missing, Paresh?
Yeah, it looked very close in the first incident, but to see the replay, probably slightly going down.
Did he get it to turn enough is the question. Or was it just angling on with the arms? Certainly an appeal of note, an appeal of interest. As again he uses his feet. Going to create half a chance. Oh, spectacular effort. But it's another one that, well, it's hard to call it a chance or harsh to call it a chance. And the flying long off fielder or mid off fielder who's run around, I don't think gets anything on it in the end, and Bertel lives to fight another day.
Coming down the track, not into the pitch of the ball, hit it.
Back live with you now, we'll come back to that replay as Bertel can't beat the infield. As it can round out the latest over. It was an awfully difficult chance, Paresh, wasn't it? Yeah, made good ground. Don't think he got a hand on it in the end. Might have been Rahman out there, I think a bit off. Good effort, but I suppose for Japan to defend this low total, they're going to have to take those sort of corners. stroke. He really is probably, of all of Nepal's batters, the most technically correct Asif Sheikh. Is that a fair analogy from somebody batting at the top like you, Paresh?
Yes, he is. He is one of the most elegant, stylish, classical players who can score runs in a T20 international above the striker of 130.
He's actually someone, I know Nepal don't play a huge amount of multi-day cricket. They did inaugurate the J Trophy there last year, I think it was. It might have been this year, my years are drifting into each other. To play some 2-day and then a 3-day final in that competition domestically is somebody I would love to see get an opportunity one day in Test cricket. He seems to have all the assets from a technical perspective.
Yes, he has that aspect. Everything, the way he comes on to the front foot, the way he goes back to the back foot.
That's the one shot that gets him in a bit of trouble, just as we're waxing lyrical about how elegant he is. He probably doesn't need to play that. If he plays a back foot punch there, he would have executed it. Big swing and a miss.
This kind of a shot that he played against Quaid brought the downfall, was trapped LBW, trying to play across the line. He doesn't have to do that, just back your basics, just do your basics right. Clipped off his hips just for a single.
And it's funny, for most associate sides, particularly the 8 Premier associate sides are in ICC Men's Cricket World Cup League 2, they're basically splitting their focus pretty much 50-50 out in ODI cricket and T20I cricket. And as a consequence, you don't really want to be out in one of the formats. Short and wide misses out and bounce from sequence and Slater. So this, if Nepal play all 3 formats, if there's a day, one day where they play Test cricket, this might be the weakest of Asif Sheikh's 3 formats, but he's still very effective in T20 cricket, particularly when he has Bertel kind of going a bit more hammer and tongs at it alongside.
That is what they complement each other for. Bertel comes in, attacks the ball. He has that aggression in the T20 format.
This goes straight up. It should be the first wicket. Final leg comes around and holds on, and Japan celebrates. Sagaya Slaters really deserve that. But look at this, all 11 Japanese fielders coming in, sprinting in together. They're pumped up, rubbing every second. The men in pink do have one of Nepal's first 2 openers as Bertel looked for the hook shot. He got surprised by that bit of extra bounce, and a half a yard of pace and offered 2 from Slater. And the opening stand is broken.
Yeah, it was a short ball, tried to pull the ball, hurried onto him, caught the top edge, and a very smart, neat catch by the fielder at short pine, tumbling to his back. That was the captain, Kendall Fleming.
Would have been nervous underneath it. Knew the importance of it to very, very difficult chances both.
नेपाल टपको विकल्प छैन आजको जमानाको भरपर्दो पार्टी नेपाल टप सब ठिकठाक
हरेक लक्ष्य आफ्नै हात जोश उत्साह मेहनत लक्ष्य अनेक एनर्जी एनर्जी भनेकै रेड बुल
अरू चिजमा छैन टुप्याम चिज मात्र ल्याउ न बिर्स्यौ
लक्ष्य अनेक एनर्जी भनेकै रेड बुल
यान एक्स्ट्रा लङ रेन्ज बासमती राइसको 20 केजीको प्याकेटको खरिदमा पाउनुहोस् क्यासब्याक भन्दै आफ्नो हल्की वालेट
नेपालमा सर्वाधिक चाहिएको चाउचाउ कञ्चनको बियो बब्बाल बियो छ
The 3 seamers comes into the attack. Big swing and a miss from Asif Sheikh, just losing his shape. Out and out all rounder, isn't he, Rahman? Another one who's playing his club cricket down in Australia.
This was a very good length ball by Rahman. The ball shaping away from Asif Sheikh. He tried to hit that over the bowler's head, but was completely beaten by the swing of the ball. if Japan can get a couple of wickets, quick wickets, Nepal will come under pressure.
Around the corner, get him comfortably for the single, very quick. Yeah, he was playing for the ACT Comets side. I noticed the Comets still used to be Australian Continental Territory side in that North End T20 that not just Nepal went down to play in, but also Pakistan A, which means Bangladesh A. So aside from America playing in that too, really good competition. And Gates Academy, have the striker side there, Northern Territory strike too. And he was generally in the wickets and the runs and that. I think that's something Nepal will be invited back to. Even though they lost some games down there, it showed that, I suppose, good exposure to different conditions would be good for the team going forward.
Yeah, that was a very good experience for Nepal to go there for the top end T20 tournament, playing against Australian team, playing against the Shines, playing against Bangladesh as well, the A teams. Good exposure for the game, for the boys.
Very good standard of cricket from what I saw as well. Across a multiple number of venues up in the top end. Nice Powell will get off the strike. That wicket will probably quell any immediate hunts for net run rate boosts, as Nepal will just get the focus on to winning this game now.
That should be their motive, just to win the game first. That comes in the primary objective. The secondary objective must have been the net run rate. But if you don't go for the win, if you don't win, the net run rate will not come.
Yeah, you're spot on. Net run rate's almost kind of a bonus after. Sheikh goes down the ground, heaves it into the leg side. Goes a long, long way. Goes all the way. Two fielders were interested in it for its entire airspan out towards the leg side boundary. How's he got this for six?
We were talking about the elegance of Asif Sheikh. He comes down the track. He was a slow ball, an off-cutter. He just goes with the shot, pulls it down to mid-wicket for a six.
He almost had to check his stroke because he was probably done a little bit by a clever piece of bowling. Rahman saw Sheikh coming, changed his pace. It's the modern game. He must get the mini win as the bowler. He's still going for six. Sheikh looks to finish the power play strongly. Can't get it where he wants it, which was over extra cover. Al will still be the happier of the two sides at the end of the power play in the second innings. Accumulated 45 for 1.
Yes, let's look at the power play highlights. Kushal Patel started off very wary. A couple of good shots down the ground. That was a better of the three that he played, going back to the back foot and cutting that down to
लक्ष्य अनेक एनर्जी 8 एनर्जी भनेकै रेड बुल
MIT, an internationally recognized degree. Bagbazar, Kathmandu.
प्राइम मिलेटबाट बनेको हरेक निर्माणको मेरुदण्ड पञ्चकन्या 500 XT 550 XT पञ्चकन्या स्थिर
हामीले त्यस्तरी भने होइन अरू चिजमा छैन टुपियाम चिजमा मात्र ल्याउ न बिर्स्यौ
It's a drag down, a rare freebie. Bowling's been good, but that's not the way you want to start a spell. It could have been hits anywhere, and Sheikh just picks his spot out towards the gorgeous mountains, and it goes a long, long way. Real drag down, and just smashed for six.
yeah, that was a long hop by Ravichandran, helped it away by Asif Sheikh for a massive six.
It has just been a few signs. A couple of batters in the first innings really started with nerves, and now the first bowler in the second innings starting with them. It was just a poor delivery, wasn't it? Any batter would be licking his lips at that. Like 65, 68 metres, that square boundary in that direction, and it's clearly 15 metres. We're off looking for the ball right now. A load of people heading towards that side trying to find the Kookaburra. I think we're going to have to go. Oh, they have found it. It's got into Shiju Sam, but because there's a little bit of construction area over that far side still, just inspecting the ball to see if it's fit to continue play. And pressure in a big way now back on to Ravichandran in Japan after just one ball, 50s up.
Yes, with that 6, Nepal moves to 51. The current rate is 8.27, the required rate under 6 now.
It's another long hop, and it's going to be 6 more. 2 really poor deliveries. Credit to Asif Sheikh, yes. You just cannot bowl there. And I don't think you can park your car there either, you'll get in trouble. Very nearly smashes into that one. Nepal's fans love it every second.
This was another long hop, equally well dealt by Asif Sheikh. This was much bigger than the last one. Almost hitting the car there. Back-to-back 6s for Asif Sheikh.
Lucky that Sheikh didn't hit it another 2 or 3 meters. If that was smashing into the car then. So 48 wickets to his name. Bit of all sorts, some singles, some leg breaks, off breaks, but two really poor deliveries to start with. Sheikh just said, thank you for the presents, to leave them away. Again, the ball needs further inspection because it's clattered off the surroundings. Better, much better. Chandra, he finds his length. The problem is only 130 on the board, you can't even afford a couple of bad balls.
And that was a bit slower through the air as well. Another good delivery by him. 2 long hops and then 2 dot balls. I think he's getting the groove of the wicket now, getting the ball to release it well.
And there are leg breaks, but they're kind of straight breaks, and that one's cut away for 4 more. Flat through the air. Asif Sheikh really taking a liking to Ravichandran, who's being dispatched around Al Amarat.
This was not a bad ball. The shot was extremely good. He gave himself room and played it into the bat almost from the keeper's gloves. Very good shot. Played it very late to get the gap between the short third and backward point.
Sheikh is just happy to keep the strike. He's completely unflusteredly accumulated 17 runs from that over. The utmost lead. 7 have been bowled. Nepal in cruise control, approaching the halfway marker of this chase. They're 62 for 1.
त्यहाँ एक्स्ट्रा लङ रेन बासमती राइसको 20 केजीको प्याकेटको खरिदमा पाउनुहोस् क्यासब्याक ढुक्दै आफ्नो हल्दी वालेटमा।
नेपालमा सर्वाधिक रुचाइएको चाउचाउ कञ्चनको बियो बब्बाल पिरो छ।
उसको पुस्तालाई मायाले जोड्ने जिन्दगीलाई अर्डिनेरीबाट एक्स्ट्रा अर्डिनेरी बनाउने सधैँ KFC।
Ball and difficult position. Just wonder for Kendall Kadawaki Fleming as to when his sights might just turn to a bit of damage limitation. Was the dream of pulling off that shock upset, which would be 2 massive upsets in 2 days for Japan's cricketers. Does that kind of go into the rearview mirror? Does he start to think, hold on, how can I bowl as economically as possible to drag out this second innings to make sure we don't take such a thumping that if we get 3 wins, our net run rate's going to be in a terrible position. Slater's brought back in, that's not going to help, but leg side wide, change of ends for him straight, he bowled so well the media centre. I've had a couple of messages asking to explain the format again, Gresh. I think if you forget about the group stages, by the end of tonight we'll know the 6 teams in the Super Six. And what we then do is publish a points table with each side having played 1 match, and that's the result that we will hold on to the side that we qualify with. So the winner of this match will win 2 points at the end of tonight. UAE already have 2 points from Group A, and then it could be Oman, it could be Samoa, or it could be Papua New Guinea, depending upon the permutations of Group C. And then from there, all that happens is you play all the other 4 sides you've played with, and it's the top 3 that go to the World Cup. There's no semi-final, there's no final, it's that simple.
Yes, it is. From Group A, UAE already taking 2 points to the Super Sixes. Whoever wins today will take 2 points to the Super Sixes. That was hit over his head. A good catch at third man. Asif Sheikh, after playing those good innings, has come to an end. 38 that he scored of 20 balls. Tried an uppercut, but couldn't get so.
What a great change of bowling. Great credit to Kevin Kanawaki Fleming. He's gone to his gun fast bowler. Kept pounding back of a length, now even shorter. And Sheikh couldn't resist taking it on. And with deep third out, it was a very risky stroke. This is a good catch. Down at wide, deep third. And a bit of a celebration too. Love to see that. Give some back to the Nepal fans. Maybe he was getting a bit down there, Ibrahim Takahashi. And he says, yes, that's number 2. Nepal fans are going to rue that. Sheikh is gone for 38. Might not be enough to turn this game on its head, but will certainly stem the run scoring flow. Japan deserve a second.
नेपाल टपको विकल्प छैन आजको जमानाको भरपर्दो पाइ नेपाल टप सब ठिकठाक
लक्ष्य अनेक एनर्जी 8 एनर्जी भनेकै रेड बुल
प्राइम बिलेटबाट बनेको हरेक निर्माणको मेरुदण्ड पञ्चकन्या 500 XT र 550 XT पञ्चकन्या स्टिल
मम्मीले त्यस्तरी भने हैन अरु चिजमा छैन 2 PM चिजमा मात्र ल्याउ न बिर्स्यौ
He's placing the order. Kushamal is often in at 4. With the Seawers on, maybe it's a good call to go to Jura. Drives, just shy back point. Savaya Slater's been able to pick the bowlers by quite a distance here.
Sunil Zora has been sent, I think, because of he plays fast bowling very well. Just to keep Kushal Mal behind when probably the leg spinner or the left arm spinner comes.
Get off the mark with a quick run single that might have been interesting with a direct hit. Paddle is that quick that they'll get back for an overthrow. Good awareness from Nepal's captain calling Jura through. Can't blame the fielder here, he had to throw it, and it would have been interesting if he had been able to effect that direct hit at the non-striker's end.
Quick run attempted there, the fielder missing the ball. Zora just stuttered there in the middle. That is why he had to sprint to the other end.
Really close, I reckon. Maybe it'll be out, in fact. The short ball, that would probably be too short, giving us a wide, rightly so. Hard working. And well together as a pair, Shikyu-Sam and going from Bangladesh. He's actually standing at point, which you might say, well, why is he doing that? But that sun is getting so low out towards the mountains, to our right, as we look to your left of your screen. The length of the shadows that it's casting. Here we go. Back live. Just wanted to look at that replay, but I think it would have been too close to call. Jura gets a single. These two will just look to accumulate and rebuild here. Not going to take too many risks, you'd imagine, Krish.
Yeah, they both are relatively new at the crease. Asif Sheikh, very well played. 38 comes to an end. He was the one who gave momentum to the innings after Kushal Bhutta got out. Slater has been very good, very aggressive bowling those short balls, trying to attempt bounces, bumpers.
He's also just hit that good hard length really well. His power was so quick. Oh, brilliant running. Really quite remarkable how they've turned a single into 2 there. Probably should have been a dot ball. But you put the pressure back onto the fielders, you force them to try and take the single. And yeah, incredible. Really, really good awareness and game awareness for both Rohit Powell and Sandeep Jura. Probably frustrating for Savaya Slater despite picking up that.
लक्ष्य अनेक एनर्जी 8 एनर्जी भनेकै रेड बुल Asian Paints Ultimate ultimate product shine यसमा भएको UV hybrid टेक्नोलोजीले घाम पानी धुलोबाट दिन्छ वर्ष सुरक्षित रहन्छ सधैँ शानदार कलर वर्ष
Can't wait. Something's done.
मम्मीले त्यस्तरी भने होइन अरू चिजमा छैन टुपी एम चिज मात्र ल्याउ न बिर्स्यौ
Comes on now from the media centre end. Long off and deep cover in place. On the leg side, deep backward square is a long way behind square, covering that sweep shot. Deep mid wicket and long on, 4 in the circle, 5 eggs. Good brain bowling, slower through the air. He's a talented young cricketer. I know he didn't see much of him in the back there in that first innings, difficult position to come in. So young. Good left arm bowler, good fielder, captain of the 19s. What a bright future he has.
Yes, he has a very bright future. I've seen him in the under-19 Asia Cup. Very good fielding at extra cover. He's just grouping the ball into the air, just telling the batsman to come and hit me.
Yeah, and it's brave for somebody 17 to continue to toss it up. Good reward, 3 dots from 4 balls. I'm very impressed with Japan. First time I've ever commentated on the line itself. Enjoyed the game yesterday. As this one comes, maybe even the helmets. I think we might have a concussion check here. Yeah, they're going to go to the physio. I think the bat involved as well. I don't understand why they've appealed, but we'll have a slight break in play here as out comes Pal's physio, Kendrick Kumar, to run through the mandatory concussion check. That will always take place no matter how strong or weak the blow is towards the helmet region. It's a really good innovation to see here, clearly up into the grill and helmet. I'm sure Rowan Peg is fine, it's only coming down 45 miles an hour, but good to go through the process.
Yes, I wonder, Lenny, what does the physio come and talk to you about after you got struck in the helmet? I've always wondered about that. Is he going to ask you some questions? What is your name? Or where do you live? Just a shot. Just a break in play. Nepal 72 in the night over.
Yeah, maybe the surprise that we haven't seen a third spinning option yet. Only the 5 bowlers used. So Abdul Samad might have had a turn. Now maybe he'll come in next. Oh, even one over left to Shamia. Sagaya Slater, how the captain of Japan uses that over will be interesting. Does he go all in now and give him another one just before the drinks break? Or will he hold him back? It'll obviously passes the concussion test to continue. Just 2 runs over that 9th over. It's 71 for 2.
यहाँ सोधी चामल खरिद गर्नुहोस् 2000सम्मको क्यासब्याक पाउनुहोस् क्यास पाए ज्ञानै नेपालमा सर्वाधिक चाहिएको चाउछ कञ्चनको किलो कपाल किलो छ भाग्यले जहिले साथ दिएन या नदिन तर यी सेवा लाइफ केयरले दिनेछ
मम्मीले त्यस्तरी भने होइन अरू चिजमा छैन टुपी एम चिज मात्र ल्याउ न बिर्स्यौ
He's running everywhere. It's not going to be Sagaya Slater. It would have been a very aggressive piece of captaincy. It would have been basically kind of saying it's all or nothing now. I need 2 wickets from you, my trump card, my best bowler today. Instead, he's going to go to Sakurada Thomas. Doesn't quite at the same pace, just as that little angle in. Exceptional running between the wickets again. They'll get home for the 2 comfortably. I think a third. And not much risk taken by Nepal's batters here, just reaccumulating nicely.
And this is very good batting by the captain. Just played it with soft hands. The ball never went out from the 30th circle and they took 2 runs. How fast they are in between the wickets.
Yeah, it's really difficult for deep wicket and deep square leg because you maybe get 3 or 4 yards in, but not much more than that because if the short ball is pulled at you, particularly the way that sun is, you don't want to be kind of caught right in the deep and it's forced to change in field, just that one shot. Deep third, he goes back, but deep backward point comes in and up comes deep with wicket, so protection on the leg side. Now misses out here. For Japan, we spoke about that factor of 2 games in 2 days. So we're going to look at the change in field. That mid-wicket fielder there, just right at the edge of the square, has come in to plug that gap. They've probably shown more than enough to think that they can win games in the Super 6.
Yes, they have, especially the batters, Fleming, the captain. And Rahman, the partnership that they got against Nepal today was brilliant.
They've been the 2 standouts of with the bats. Their bowling attack is very effective. It looks like they're an incredibly tight-knit group. From speaking to Alan Carr, he's just talking about the importance of, them doing things in a Japanese manner, speaking Japanese in and around the group. And we saw them take a bow to their fans that came last night to all line up. That was lovely. Such brilliant stories of Japanese sport. Primary sports there, feel free to drop a message and correct me if not. Primary sports there tend to be the likes of baseball, which is hugely popular. Cricket on the rise, rugby obviously hugely on the rise. That famous win over South Africa 10 years ago now, back in 2015. And I think they're a great story. They're a story we need in cricket. We've spoken about the importance of Brazil's women's program, what the USA have done for the men's side coming through and expanding the game there. We want it to be a global game. We want not just a 20-team World Cup. There's already been some inclinations or whispers in and around the ICC that they'd like to get that to 24 teams in years to come. As Jordan goes down towards long off and straight at him. Japan are pumped up again and they find a third. It's a good catch. Nicely taken by Benjamin Ito Davis. And Japan, you have to say, are deserving all of these breakthroughs. I'll still hold the aces, but at the halfway stage, Japan fighting hard. And they've got 3 wickets to their name.
Yes, they have, and let's look at the shot again. The fielder was in the boundary line, a neat catch taken by the fielder there. But that Zora has to depart for 5, and the umpires have called for the drinks break. We'll take a break here in the comment box. We'll be back soon.
नेपाल टपको विकल्प छैन आजको जमानाको भरपर्दो पाइप नेपाल टप सब ठिकठाक
लक्ष्य अनेक एनर्जी 8 एनर्जी भनेकै रेड बल
Asian Paints Ultimate Protect Shine यसमा भएको UV हाइब्रिड टेक्नोलोजीले घाम, पानी, धुलोबाट दिन्छ वर्ष सुरक्षा हात रहन्छ सधैँ शाइनदार वर्ष
मम्मीले त्यस्तरी भने होइन अरू चिजमा छैन 2 PM चिज मात्र ल्याउन बिर्स्यौ
लक्ष्य अनेक एनर्जी 8 एनर्जी भनेकै रेड बल
MIT, an internationally recognized degree. Magbazar, Kathmandu.
Red Bull presents T20 World Cup qualifiers. Nepalको विश्व कप यात्रा powered by Can Extra Long Range Basmati Rice. लक्ष्य अनेक एनर्जी 8 एनर्जी भनेकै रेड बल
Sunflower oil, मायाले बाँधेको छ
यतिका कार्पेट किन्दा कार्पेटको पछाडि यतिको लोगो हेर्न नबिर्सनुहोला। यति कार्पेटको शहंशाह प्राइम बिलेटबाट बनेको हरेक निर्माणको पेनगण्ड पञ्चकन्या स्टील
Skyward Home Appliances.
Asian Paints Ultimate Protect Shine यसमा रहेको UV हाइब्रिड टेक्नोलोजीले घाम, पानी, धुलोबाट वर्षौं सुरक्षित रहन्छ सधैँ शाइनदार वर्षौं
होटल भ्यू अब किसीमा माथि
He comes in at number 5, the left-hander. Not too much pressure on Nepal because the required run rate is less than on the hole. It's 55 more from here to win. But you would imagine that Japan would be delighted with the fight and the grit that they have shown. The fact they picked up 3 wickets. It's Takahashi to bowl for the first time. Off breaks, he's the one who took the catch. Big back to the Nepal fans. Alec can't, oh, he will get off the mark thanks to the misfield. Initially, Powell had come down and needed to be sent back, but just a little fumble and a stumble from Benito Davis. Just giving the big celebrations himself with that catch and long off. The greatest shot choice from Sandeep Jora, particularly with it being the final ball before drinks. Andrew Leonard here alongside Paresh Land. Paresh will be joining in a few moments' time. Do have a few questions for him coming in, so use that hashtag T20 World Cup. Let us know where you're watching from. Get those questions in to me directly at Cricket Badge on either Twitter or Instagram. Really enjoy having your company, and we know how much this qualifier means to so many people as we sort out the final 3 spots in the ICC Men's T20 World Cup that will be held in India and Sri Lanka next year. 17 of the teams that will be there. Just 3 more remain. And all of those spots will come from this qualifier, the first ever combined one between the Asia EAP regions. Oh, it's a trademark stroke of Rowan Powell's. He loves that late cut. Mala's running really hard, thinking of the third, but won't get there. End of the 11th. It's a 6-run opening over for Takahashi, 82 for 3.
ज्ञान एक्स्ट्रा लङ रेन्ज बासमती राइसको 20 केजीको प्याकेटको खरिदमा पाउनुहोस् क्यासब्याक थप्दै आफ्नो अघि वालेटमा।
नेपालमा सर्वाधिक चाहिएको चाउचाउ कञ्चनको प्रिय फुटबल हिरो छ।
पञ्चकन्या बाथरूम लग्जरी मेड अफोर्डेबल
मम्मीले त्यस्तरी भने होइन अरू चिजमा छैन 2 PM चिज मात्र ल्याउ न बिर्स्यौ
The joy that the Nepal fans always show. It's very rare I see their carry on and can do anything but help break into a smile. Their love of their nation, their love of the team, their love of cricket is just super inspiring as Suzuki comes into the attack. Using lots of bowling options out in Japan, kind of shading and echoing what Nepal did in that first innings. If Nepal get home here, they've been made to work for this victory.
Yes, they have been starting from the first innings, the way Captain Fleming and Rahman batted. Nepal was pushed to the back foot. Credit goes to Zopal Kami, Gulsen Shah, and the latter part of the innings, Sandeep Lanichani took 2 wickets.
For me, it was Gulsen Shah that made the difference, though, wasn't it? The impact he had, particularly given his first over went for 9 runs, to come back. Those remaining 3 that he bowled on the bounce probably have changed the course of this contest.
Yes, it sure did. He got rid of the dangerous man, the captain of Japan, Fleming. Nepal, having ranked higher than Japan, they were pushed to back foot.
The challenges then in the defence of this chase for Japan. Their most prolific wicket taker, Ravichandran, just bowled a terrible first over, and any pressure that was built up with the dismissal of Bertel was just completely taken out of the game because he bowled 2 long hops to start with. Both of those were dispatched for 6. There was another boundary 2 from Asim Sheikh in the over. That went for 17, and Kendall Fleming hasn't wanted to turn back to him since. Edged away, a little bit of fortune for Owen Powdle, but he will get 4. Nice delivery. Deep third is very wide. The Nepal fans are flying their flags and cheering on merrily yet again.
That had a bit of shape on it, getting that outside edge, running very fine towards the third man region. And like you said, Lenny, the third man fielder was a bit wide. That is why he couldn't stop it. Just 43 more required of 50 deliveries. Rohit Patel on 17. We would like to stay unbeaten.
How much would you read into those prior T20 World Cup experiences in terms of the qualifiers that Nepal have had? Some heartbreak here against the UAE back in what was that, 2021, wasn't it, for the T20 World Cup 2022?
Yeah, it has been. They have played 2 T20 World Cups, so one in 2014 and one in 2024.
Chip back at the bowler, who thinks he's held on, and Kushal Mala's happy to walk. An exceptional catch. Suzuki McComb is brought into the attack, and the mustachioed all-rounder has done so well to dive forward. They'll take it probably only inches off the turf. Nobody would have had a better view than Kushal Mala, and he's happy just to walk off immediately. What a catch this is.
Incredible. Diving in front in your follow-through, being a medium pacer, that's an incredible catch.
Second low score from Mala in 2 games. Again, good awareness of the matchups from Japan's end, getting fast bowler on rather than the spinner to Mala. He's got to go for 4. Nepal just having a few wobbles in this chase. They've lost their 4th.
नेपाल टपको विकल्प छैन आजको जमानाको भरपर्दो उपाय नेपाल टप सब ठिकठाक
लक्ष्य अनि एनर्जी एनर्जी भनेकै रेड बुल यति कार्पेट किन्दा कार्पेटको पछाडि यतिको लोगो हेर्न नबिर्सनु होला यति कार्पेटको शहंशाह
मम्मीले त्यसरी भने हैन अरु चिजमा छैन टुप्याम चिज मात्र ल्याउ न बिर्स्यौ
Posted between 4 teams, Japan, Philippines, Indonesia and South Korea. They were unbeaten, 106. As it now will be Ravichandran, the leading wicket taker for Japan in their history, back into the attack. He's got 48 altogether. If he can get 1 or 2 now, we'll just have a twist in this contest as Dependra Singh is the new man to the crease.
This is very clever captaincy because the left-hander was there, Kushal Malla was there. He didn't bring Ravichandran into the attack. When Malla got out, immediately he's getting his leg spinner into the attack. Big Kapil, go on!
Japan have a 5th, and they have life. We have to love the associate pathway events because they always have twists and turns. Nepal will have been thinking they should have cruised this chase of 130, but 2 wickets in 3 balls as the game turned on its head. It's those little strike breaks, the little skinny long leg breaks from Ravichandran that have given him a 49th T20 international wicket. Would have been the good bit was out of the back of the hand. Powdle's not picked it, and for me, more than a fair decision. Gonna go on and hit middle and leg stump. Ravichandran's pumped up. So too are Japan.
Yes, Rohit Patel has to depart. Very good delivery, very good captaincy. He has to depart for 18 of just 19 deliveries.
नेपाल टपको विकल्प छैन आजको जमानाको भरपर्दो उपाय नेपाल टप सब ठिकठाक
लक्ष्य अनेक एनर्जी एक एनर्जी भनेकै रेड बुल भाग्यले जहिले साथ दिएला या नदिएला तर यी सेवा लाइफ केयरले दिनेछ
मम्मीले त्यस्तरी भने होइन अरू चिजमा छैन टुपियाम चिजमा मात्र ल्याउ न बिर्स्यौ
Rain continues to pose no real threat, 5.5 and over. In fact, they're 5 wickets down, though Paresh definitely does.
There's still an Iceman at the crease of the Singh ID. Another Iceman has to depart, the captain of Nepal, Rohit Bodel.
Round the wicket now. Right on the money. Gulshan Jha good enough to get off the mark. He's a confident young cricketer, and he's already been through a lot in such a short career, Paresh.
Gulshan Jha is 19 years of age. The way he batted in the first game against Kuwait, 20 of 5, that got the momentum into the innings break for Nepal. That is why the bowlers came out and bowled very well to take wickets to get a victory out of it.
Nepal's fans all of a sudden becalmed position where they're starting to feel pressure as a team. Beautiful hue to the ground now. You might have noticed a difference in the colour. As you look on at home, the floodlights have just come on for the first time. And oh, this looks very close. Pleading with Mukul. And the umpire has a long think and says no. I'm not sure necessarily what this is missing unless Irene has got a bit of bat on it. Look like it's just skidding on again. Oh, is it going down or is that hitting leg stump?
Excellent bowling by Ravichandran. He's taken a wicket already off the captain of Nepal.
It was probably another goopy, wasn't it? He just sort of rolls it out a little bit Rashid Khan-esque, not the full back of the hand goopy, just coming out the side. What an over, what an impact. We've got a changed game all of a sudden in the course of 7 deliveries. Bit of a strut and a swagger from Ravichandran too. He felt he could have had that decision go his way. Very close call. It's gone the way of Depender Singh Irene.
लक्ष्य अनेक एनर्जी एक एनर्जी भनेकै रेड बुल
स्वदेश तथा विदेशमा आर्जन गर्ने शिक्षाको सम्पूर्ण खर्चको जिम्मेवारी लिन्छ आइएमई लाइफ इन्सुरेन्स
आइएमई लाइफ बाल किरण जीवन बिमा योजना
नेपाल टपको विकल्प छैन आजको जमानाको भरपर्दो उपाय नेपाल टप सब ठिकठाक
मम्मीले त्यस्तरी भने होइन अरू चिजमा छैन टुपियाम चिजमा मात्र ल्याउ न बिर्स्यौ
Kendall Kanawaki Fleming is captained outstandingly well. He's going to call on that Trump fast bowler now. That was a good sharp bouncer. Japan have really impressed me today, Paresh, whatever the results. Nepal are being made to work incredibly hard for this victory.
Yet again bowling that bumper, very accurate bumper. Gulshan had to take evasive action, just tucking the ball. Yeah, Japan has not only impressed us, they've impressed the entire world.
Absolutely. Another great story from associate cricket this year. Into the leg side for a single. Irene has the pace to get back for the second, but rightly not looking to go for it. Fast bowler himself too, fielding. Think of Italy's story this summer qualifying for their first T20 World Cup. Imagine we had a Japan or a Samoa to that list. Who would have thought that 10 or 15 years ago, Paresh?
No one have ever thought that. It's just because the Japanese, they played very well. Not only today, but yesterday beating Kuwait.
Pulled around the corner, but T5 leg is out there. Yeah, I think so much of the growth and the development over the last decade has been due to one decision. Back in 2018, some statisticians, some anarchs didn't like it, but back in 2018, the ICC granted T20I status to every single one of its, at that stage, 104 members, now 108 members, all are entitled to play T20Is. Ja hooks this away, and probably the biggest cheer of the day. He's a real fan favourite, this man. He stuck it onto the road. The angle helped him with that hook shot. It's an almighty maximum.
That is more than 100 meters. A good bumper again, well picked up by Gulzenjar. Down to deep square leg, behind square, into the road.
They're remarkable shots, and there's a bit of niggle kicking in. I don't think Ravichandran, you can see heavily involved in it there, was happy with that LBW decision from umpire Muckle in the previous over. But I'm not sure why this ball has sparked the action and the drama. Outstanding hook shots, nice swivel hook, bit of Caribbean flair there from Gulshan Ja, soars many a mile. And then there was a coming together of a number of Japanese fielders who came in to have a word or two with both Ja and Irie, who didn't seem to engage. The umpires rightly saying to Japan, get back to your positions. Get the single this time. This game has got a bit of spice in it all of a sudden.
And the Nepali fans, they're loving it. They're just chanting around. We are loving it, the spice.
Always good to have a bit of spice. Any contest, as long as it doesn't go past the line. And in fairness, both of these sides play with a great spirit of cricket. So important that they do. Staying around the wicket, final ball of Slater's spell. He's driven. He's bowled really well, Sagaya Slater, 2 for 22. He will take, maybe even deserved a third wicket in there. But the 100 comes up as his spell ends, much to the cheers of Nepal fans.
ज्ञान सोधी चामल खरिद गर्नुहोस् 2000 सम्मको क्यासब्याक पाउनुहोस् क्यास पाए ज्ञान धेरै नेपालमा सर्वाधिक रुचाइएको चाउचाउ कञ्चनको प्रिय फुटबल हिरो छ
Can't wait. Something's dark fantasy. MIT, an internationally recognized degree. Bagbazar, Kathmandu.
मम्मीले त्यस्तरी भने
In a second. And the wickets. All of a sudden he's found his rhythm, found his loop. They're interesting little leg breaks, aren't they? It's kind of a bit of everything in there. Oh, quite flat through the air. It's a good googly. It's not an extravagant drop of the front shoulder and front show the backhand googly. It's sort of a little one that just rolls out the side of the hand and it makes it difficult to pick. Already accounted for Powell, could have accounted for the Dipender Singh Irie.
Yeah, after the first over, that he was a bit tentative, a bit nervous to go to Hasif Sheikh. He's found his rhythm. This was a full toss, easily driven away by Gulshan Ja.
I would suspect that this is the critical over. If Ravichandran can get one, or in a dream world 2 more, Japan might start to believe. But Irie picks the googly this time. The key thing is just not to lose a wicket here for Nepal. Required run rate isn't posing pressure. It's the fact they've lost those 5 wickets.
Yes. The current rate is over 7 runs per over. The required is under 6. It's very controllable. The only thing that Nepal is worried about is those 5 wickets.
Driven, square driven. Ja wants the second, Irie sends it back. I think that was a really good call, because obviously Irie would have got there at the non-striker's end, but he's looked after his partner there. And that's good communication to make sure it's just a single.
Irie is a very smart campaigner. He knows what is going on in the center. He identifies the fielders. Then again, straight down the ground for a single.
Nepal doing enough in this over just to quell the threat of that Japan fight back. Do you think back to that first innings though, and you just wonder if Japan had gotten the 160 they should have. Different may this game have been. 5 singles will come from the 15th. Nepal just plotting a course home here. They're 105 for 5.
लक्ष्य अनि एनर्जी 8 एनर्जी भनेकै रेड बुल भाग्यले जहिले साथ दिएन या नदिएन तर यी सेवालाई केयरले दिनेछ
Panchakanya pathway. Luxury made affordable.
मम्मीले त्यसरी भने होइन अरू चिजमा छैन 2 PM चिज मात्र ल्याउ न बिर्स्यौ
Having the same, we don't know what is that all about.
Suzuki would come, I think, to bowl the 16th. Really impressed with Kanawaki Fleming's captaincy. He's just rotated the troops around nicely and hasn't panicked at any point. Didn't panic with the bats. Played so well for that 50. And he hasn't panicked in terms of his leadership either. Even when the leg spinner bowled such a poor first over, he treated him very maturely and then waited for him to come back. Driven, maybe just out of the reach of the cover fielder, hands on head in the field. They should get 3 here if Jack can get back. No, just the 2. Was this a catching opportunity? Very tall figure there at extra cover. Did it burst through his hands?
He tried his best to get to the ball. I think it went over his hands. A very good attempt. A tall guy, and look at the fielding here in the boundary line. Excellent work. Saved 2 runs for his team. Inside edge, quick single taken. Tipender Singh is very quick in between the wickets.
Yeah, I think his maturity here. I know he's only got 3 of the runs in his partnership, but he just showed all his experience and making sure that Nepal don't panic. If they'd lost 6 or 7 in a matter of moments there, they would have been into panic mode. Instead, because they don't have too much pressure in terms of required rates, so just 24 more needed. 28 balls to do it. You should do that always as long as you keep your wickets in hand. So Irie's experienced before here. Just a slight change in the field. The wicket would go out. It was Sugaya Slater who had a half chance burst through his hands from Roshan Jha. And continuing to fight and scrap away. Tickled around the corner. Irie will get his first boundary. Good batting.
Yeah, he waited for the ball. It was down the leg side, just clipped off his pads. Very fine. Down to the binding region before a much welcome boundary for Nepal. It was way outside the leg stump. Easy pickings for Irie with his caliber.
Just the wrong line. Completely lost his line. In fact, Nepal's fans are, well, almost like a bottle of champagne waiting for the top to pop off and blitz into celebrations. Gorgeous sunset across to our right, just peeking towards the mountains now. The slower ball and cutter is worked into the leg side. Irie will always get home with his speed. Between the wickets from him. It's been a sort of panic-saving 6-wicket partnership this week.
It has been, and Irie was looking for a second that particular occasion. So quick between the wickets, so quick in the field, wide fielding of his own bowling as well. And the 5 required now for the ball. With 5 wickets in hand, it sure is Nepal's game if they don't throw it away from here.
Yeah, they have it completely under control. Just keep those wickets in hand. Should get there, nicely driven by Jha. He's played maturity himself, isn't he, for someone who's so tender in his years. Highlight that big six, but they've just done everything very, very professional in Nepal.
It all started off with the opening partnership, Kushal Patel and Asif Sheikh. After Patel got out, Asif took the stand. Two huge sixes of Ravichandran. Ravichandran coming back, very good captaincy then. The captain stopped it. When Kushal Malla got out, then brought in Ravichandran.
Yeah, fully agree. He's rotated his bowlers nicely. Good leg cutter again. I think Kyrie's going to fancy two here. He does it with a canter, doesn't he? He's ended up 3 or 4 yards past the keeper. Good over, a really good one for Nepal. Very little risk taken. 11 runs have come from it. It's 116 for 5.
ज्ञान एक्स्ट्रा लङ रेन्ज बासमती राइसको 20 केजीको प्याकेटको खरिदमा पाउनु होस् क्यासब्याक दिँदै आफ्नो मल्टी वालेटमा
नेपालमा सर्वाधिक चाहिएको चाउचाउ कञ्चनको घिउ कपाल पिरो छ
Asian Paints Ultimate Protect Shine. यसमा रहेको UV हाइटेक टेक्नोलोजीले घाम, पानी, धुलोबाट दिन्छ वर्ष सुरक्षा। हर रहन्छ सधैँ शाइनदार, शाइनदार कलर, वर्ष।
मम्मीले त्यसरी भने होइन अरू चिजमा छैन टुप्याम चिज मात्र ल्याउ न बिर्स्यौ
Yeah, cricket.
A dot ball to start the over, the 17th. Levy, Ravichandran looks like you from the top.
Thanks for Rick. Just a reminder, I need it as a suits out around the corner, just one bounce. For 4, hold is beautiful, mate. We know that. Bringing it back, bit by bit. Yeah, Nepal have had a shock to the system here. They've had a few wobbles, but ultimately they should prevail here. Just 14 needed now. First pause. Helped round the corner. He's Dipender Singh Airi again, just innovating. They get a couple. The first ball was a dodge, and obviously thanks to the team for that. Ravichandran shown why he does take wickets at all levels he played at.
No wonder he's the highest wicket taker for Japan in the T20Is. Again, flattered through the air, a skidder. Very well read by Airi. Outside the line of off stump. He doesn't have to do that. He can just play this over. Plenty of balls to go to get those runs.
Good diving stop. Add extra cover. Airi will keep the strike. 17 ball, 120 for 5.
लक्ष्य अनि एनर्जी 8 एनर्जी भनेकै रेड बुल
कस्तो पुस्तालाई मायाले जोड्ने जिन्दगीलाई अर्डिनेरीबाट एक्स्ट्रा अर्डिनेरी बनाउने सधैँ केएफसी
मम्मीले त्यसरी भने होइन अरू चिजमा छैन टुप्याम चिज मात्र ल्याउ न बिर्स्यौ
Nepal and UAE, we've seen that UAE might want to, retain the favor what Nepal did in the earlier qualifier.
Sakurano to Rio Sakurano Thomas. He's third, he's picked up 1 wicket. They're just trying to work out exactly when that game will be. I think it's going to be Sunday afternoon if Nepal win this game. So it really powers that one out towards a cover sweep. That would be a case then of Group A first versus Group B first. afternoon game at this main ground. Box office clash, and that's our first day back after the rest day tomorrow.
Yes, it will be. Box office, like I said, there's a rivalry between UAE and Nepal.
The El Clasico, the Associate El Clasico is what they call it.
It was not only now. It's not only now. Always, whenever we played, 25 years ago.
Days as well. Well, speaking of 25 years back, this is the first international between these two sides in 25 years. Japan have really had their moments to be very impressive. But I think Nepal are going to have enough to get home. Gulshan Jah, the standout for you today, he's a big impact on the game.
Yes, he is. The way he bowled the second over, getting rid of the captain Fleming, who was going guns blazing. Just to break that partnership.
For Japan, they continue to fight, don't they? There's been a real period of prominence in this match for them. Both felt the 12 over mark in that first innings. The game was slipping away from Nepal.
Yeah, credit goes to Gulshan Jah. He hasn't bowled yet. He didn't bowl in the West Indies series. He didn't bowl in the warm-up matches. He didn't bowl against Kuwait. Came in and bowled here, took 2 wickets. Full toss, hit it down the ground. 6.
I like it for Gulshan Jah. A couple of dots, and then he just smashes that one to the heavens. He's such a special cricketer, isn't he? He has this incredible ability to impact matches, whatever he does. Look at the catches against the West Indies, the wickets today, now a couple of maximums, and get Nepal right to the brink. It wasn't a great delivery. It's incredible. I think he's just 19. His ceiling as a cricketer, Paresh, could be so high.
Only 19, and look at his character. It's like 29 years of age.
Remarkable. Really, really, truly remarkable. Try and finish it. The scores are level. Nepal are on the brink, and they probably deserve this victory. It's given their 12th player the reward for coming here in such good numbers, and you can't help but argue that Nepal will win this group now, and they'll win it in some style.
Yes, this was a thick outside edge over the short third fielder for a boundary. Just the run needed to complete the victory and to carry 2 points to the Super Sixes for Nepal. I give credit to Japan the way they fought.
The fielders come in to try and drag it to the 19th. That'll be that. And Gulshan Jah will fittingly hit the winning runs. Nepal, they win by 5 wickets, and they take 2 points in the Super 6, much to the delight of their fans.
Yes, at the last it was a comprehensive victory for Nepal. Credit goes to Gulshan Jah and Independence United, the way they batted, the way they were calm in the middle after losing 2 early wickets of Rohit Bodal and Kushal Malla. Nepali fans very delighted, exuberant, with the unique flag of Nepal, with the Nepal t-shirts in the media box. They're out here in numbers. Each and every fan chanting Nepal, Nepal. You can see there on your screen. Nepal winning the game by 5 wickets and going to the Super Sixes as group winners of Group B. Now they're gonna face UAE on Sunday, 12th of October, in the first clash of the Super Sixes in the afternoon, 2:30 p.m. local time. And look at the batting card. Kushan Burdell, run about 21. Asif Sheikh with 2 big sixes, 38-21. Rohit Bodal, 18. And Dipendra, 14. And Gulshan Jah again,